You see, at the beginning of this week, you are going to hear this unusual noise. This unusual sound is in itself going to come from an animal, from some kind of a bird. To be a bit more specific, it is actually going to come from some kind of a bird which is similar to a crow or a raven or something like that. And this in itself, it's going to be obvious to you as soon as you become aware of this noise. And that in itself means, on another hand, that at that moment in time, someone is going to come into your mind. There is a specific person that you are going to be reminded of at that moment in time. It is not about the sound of a bird, but it's actually this message that it's bringing you. So it's about you just honestly at that second, at that moment in time, you're literally going to have this specific person on your mind. And this particular person that you are going to have on your mind, this is your sign and your clear indication that you need to reconnect with that specific person. So as soon as you hear this sound, this noise, which is most certainly going to come from a crow or a raven, you know, this is at that moment in time, you're also going to be reminded of this specific person. Suddenly it's like, oh my God, you're thinking about Jane, or you're thinking about John, or you're thinking about Mary, or you're thinking about Lily. You know, you're thinking about someone. Someone is just going to be in your mind, like at that moment in time. And this is your sign that you have to, at all costs, reconnect to that particular person. And it's somebody who you love, somebody who you like, somebody who you are really close to, but then you're not seeing that person maybe often enough. And this in itself, it's going to be a sign to try to reconnect with that person as soon as you possibly can. And it's not only about that sign, it's not only about that person. This emotionally, it's going to be brilliant, and spiritually, it's going to be brilliant for both of you. But there is something that you are going to realize. There is a very important information that you are actually going to have from that person once you reconnect with this person. An important information which is going to remind you of something that you forgot about. And it's so important. And time is getting very, very near and very close for you to kind of act on this particular thing. And I know that this may sound like a little bit confusing, but trust me, it is going to be ever so important. And even if it doesn't happen at the beginning of this week, it could happen at around the midweek. But it's really significant and as important to understand that, you know, this is something that's, you know, there is just so much more to it. There is just so much more to it. And within the next few weeks, you will understand the full extent of all of this. So this is why this is this was so important for me to highlight. And on another note, my gorgeous Libra, when it comes to the beginning of this week, you know, this is absolutely brilliant, and I really love this so much. Yet again, a very, very special person is going to have such an enormous, a giant impact on you and on your life. There is this specific person who is not only going to inspire you, like in so many different ways, but through that person, you are going to understand that you are and you have been unwilling to make necessary effort when it comes to something very, very specific in your life. This is going to be in itself a brilliant wake-up call for you in so many different ways, because I need to tell you, and you need to understand that at this moment in time, the healing is actually about to take place as well. So it's not only that you are gonna be provided with this absolutely mind-blowing realization here, but at the same time, the healing process is actually going to take place. This is going to reflect on your energy, it's going to reflect on your well-being, and it's going to reflect on you mentally as well. So after this moment in time, you can like really expect to have so many ideas which are really going to surprise you, like, oh my God, where all these ideas are coming from. But you will also enjoy these bursts of an absolutely wonderful energy that is really gonna have such a positive impact on your life. Of course, course it will. So this particular person, it's really going to play a giant role when it comes to you being so like kind of inspired, but it's more about understanding exactly which part of your life, something very specific here. What are you unwilling to make, what are you being so unwilling to make necessary effort? And this in itself, it's going to be consisting of you fully understanding that you are going to need to be like a part of some kind of a competition, but only for a little while, only for a short while, and almost as if this is going to like put you off, but you must not allow this to put you off. This doesn't have to be necessarily like a real competition, you like being within the competition with people, for example, but then at the same time, you know, you can also hear like maybe there are going to be some other people who are maybe going to try to do the same thing, or something is just going to like kind of put you off here a little bit. But you must ignore this, because you need to understand one thing. This competition also means that you are gonna, that this also can mean that you may need to do certain things for a while also that you may not like in order to get where you need to get. But this is important, because now something is going to seem like, oh my god, it's going to take a long time, but it's not at all. It only seems like to be that way at this moment in time. So when you become aware of what have you been unwilling to make a necessary effort, but this is so important, as soon as you become aware of this, do not let this put you off whatsoever. The fact that there is going to be some kind of competition. And why am I saying this like that? Pam, 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 my gorgeous Liberina. The reason why am I saying it like this, it's purely because this is gonna lead towards like a massive, giant victory, massive recognition when it comes to success, and when it comes to you achieving something absolutely mind-blowing. And it's not only about this kind of turning out to be ridiculously successful for you. You are going to have literally a big reason to celebrate for the actual celebration, and it's not because of that, but purely because you are going to become aware of what is a clear direction for you in your life at this stage. And it's gonna be slightly different to what you actually thought so far, and it's gonna happen in such a way where you're gonna realize, you know what, you're making some kind of adjustment with this, because at the same time you will see that the priorities are changing, like there is no tomorrow, like a full-on big time. And this in itself is going to leave you with a very, very interesting path, a clear direction, and it is going to be with you kind of starting and realizing it's, oh my god, and now it's time to start some kind of a venture. Look where this is going to take you, my gorgeous Liberina, my gorgeous Libra. Look where this is going to take you. And it's all about breaking through this, you know, it's breaking free, my gorgeous Libra. So it's all going to start with you realizing what has caused some kind of a blockage, an internal blockage when it comes to all these things have been kind of slowed down. All these things have been prevented from manifesting purely because you needed to come out of yourself a little bit in order to face this. So yes, this is a lot to do with you coming out of your comfort zone, which is exactly what is going to happen here, what is actually going to happen here indeed. So you see where this is going to take you. It's going to bring you to the point in your life right at the beginning of this week where you are gonna be, where you're going to realize, you know, now it's time to start some kind of a venture here. And this venture, I think that this was on your mind, or this has been on your mind for a while. It's just now you will be able to see things crystal clear. This is absolutely mind-blowing, my gorgeous Libra, and it's really going to make your life so much more complete. It's going to, in general, this is going to make you feel really optimistic, and it's slowly but but surely going to bring such a wonderful new energy into your life as well. And it's all about trusting yourself and trusting your intuition, but understanding that, you know, we are not inspired by certain people in our lives just randomly. When certain people makes us feel like really good about ourselves in our lives, when they have such a wonderful impact on us in a positive way, this is a great sign. There is a bit more to it. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, hearing the right thing, which you're going to find so important when it comes to your personal situation. And there is a reason for it, you know, because there is so much more to it indeed. And this, it couldn't have been more obvious right now. And also at around the beginning of this week, something very, very strange and very unusual is going to happen. At the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Libra, something really unusual is going to happen, and really bizarre and really strange. You are going to be visited by some kind of a spirit, somebody who used to be in your life, somebody who was the part of your life for a very, very long time, and somebody who is not in this world anymore, somebody who crossed over, somebody who is in a spirit world, of course, but somebody who you were so close. And maybe if you are a really younger person and you haven't got anybody who died, you know, it could happen, you know what I mean, that you don't remember. For example, maybe certain people died within your family and you don't remember, you know, then they remember you and they feel a strong connection with you, and these are the spirits that are going to come through and come forward. But most importantly, most significantly, you will know which spirit is going to visit you. It is going to happen like at the moment in time where you are going to be completely by yourself, and you are going to feel a little bit scared, and you are going to hear something, you're going to become aware of something, oops, and yet you're going to jump a little bit like this, my gorgeous Liberina. You're going to jump a little bit, you know, it's something it's going to scare you to start with, but in at that moment in time, like maybe it's going to be like a really big bang, a really big noise, maybe something is going to fall, maybe you're going to see something, oh my god, what is this? Maybe you're going to see something, oh hello my darling, how are you? No, I'm joking. Maybe you're gonna say something to, you know, my gorgeous Libra, and then you know, and then you might get scared a little bit, but you are going to be by yourself. But only first second you're gonna be a little bit scared, and then you're gonna have a very like kind of light feeling, really a warm feeling. You're gonna feel really nice, and then suddenly you're gonna feel this connection. And the bottom line is that you will know who this spirit is. You will know who this spirit is. Maybe you will even smell a little bit of a perfume that that person maybe used to wear. Maybe you're gonna smell like a certain food at around that time also, you know, but somehow at that time the bottom line is that you will know which spirit you have been visited. And this is gonna actually, as I said, you're gonna be a little bit scared, but then it's gonna bring really nice feelings within. And most importantly, suddenly you're gonna realize what message this spirit is bringing to you, and you will see that this is going to happen. You will realize which message the spirit is bringing you, and you will know that there is something that you need to get rid of. That it's to do with like a very bad and unhealthy and really negative attachment, you know. It's like to do with a really bad, ridiculously bad restriction that's making you feel so unhappy. And that spirit, almost immediately you're going to be, oh my god, almost immediately you're going to be reminded of some kind of restriction, something that is restricting you, something that is making your whole quality of life so unnecessarily kind of negative when it shouldn't be, and something that has also been slowing you down for the last couple of years or so. Is to do with a really restriction that you have to be kind of like strong enough in order to walk away from. You need to be strong, and you need to understand that this is going to be a really clever thing to do for you in so many different ways, my gorgeous Libra, you know. So the bottom line is, when that spirit visits you, you are going to be almost immediately reminded of some kind of restriction that now, not that time is running out, but now it's the time for you to kind of like walk away from this like kind of restriction. It is very important for you to do indeed. So this is the message that the spirit is actually bringing you. Trust me, it's just gonna come to you literally completely out of blue, or maybe at around that time Or it could even happen in this way. It could even happen in this way, like at around that time when you're visited by that spirit and you know something is around it, you know, you will realize that you were thinking about some kind of restriction, something that's really bothering you, something that's making you feel so dark and negative. And it's also to do with an aspect of your life that you've been keep on trying over and over and over again. And maybe now at the end of karma and spiritual journey with that, it just hasn't been working out. So the sooner you move away from that, the happier you're going to be. And this also has started to kind of affect you emotionally. So this is why this spirit, it's about to step in indeed. By the time you get to the mid part of this week, my gorgeous Libra, this is fantastic because it's to do with a really amazing idea. I really like this. I really like this idea that you're going to have at around the mid-week. There are actually a couple of ideas here, two little ideas, but they are pretty much so connected to one another, because you are going to become a very, very passionate when it comes to this couple of ideas that you are going to have. You're going to become very passionate, but you're also going to understand that in order to like kind of like do something about it, you are going to need to make some kind of move, some kind of a step, which is gonna be like really brave at this stage of your life, because you're gonna be persistently worried that what if something goes wrong, what if this is not the right thing to do, and you are gonna go in this mode of like a bit of like being a little bit indecisive, and you are gonna be thinking, oh my god, I'm really worried, only because at around that time you're maybe going to be thinking about somebody who has shown their real face lately, and somebody who maybe stabbed you a little bit in the back, you know, and almost as if you're going to be reminded of a very negative experience that you had with someone not that long ago, and this is like, oh my god, gonna just kind of put you even more into this mode of the actual indecisiveness. But then when you find yourself being indecisive, you're going to have a moment where you're going to sit down, you're going to chill out a little bit, maybe you're going to ground yourself, maybe you're going to meditate, maybe you're going to pray. It really depends what's going to happen, but I know that you're going to have a bit of a moment where you're going to be relaxing somehow, and then you're going to realize, you know, this in itself is going to bring you this mental clarity, where you're going to realize that these ideas are so important for you to take on, so important, because on one hand you are gonna save money, and you are gonna, this is gonna be really, really good for your financial situation, and you are also going to be able to protect what's yours. And on another hand, you are also going to realize, oh my god, when you have this like chilling out moment, you're also going to realize that there is so much more to it, you know. It's what this deep thinking mode can actually do. It's like it clears off so much, you know. Sometimes we feel things and we become so passionate, and that's our guiding light, but sometimes things become crystal clear, like they're gonna become right now, and you are gonna absolutely love this. You will realize that, you know, the one specific phase of your life has already come to an end, and now at this moment in time something really amazing is going to start here, because you're suddenly going to realize not only like, you know, that this is going to be brilliant to save money and to protect things that belong to you in the future, in the long run, this is going to be so amazing when it comes to this couple of ideas, but on another hand you're also going to see so much more potential when it comes to these two ideas that you had. You know, to start with, it started only to start with, there were only like a couple of things, but then at the end it turned out to be like so many different things, you know, because you're going to tap into something and here, and you're going to realize so much of an untapped potential for you here. Indeed, a very, very important stage of your life, my gorgeous Libra, like, oh my god, very important stage of your life. By the time you get to the last part of this week, now when it comes to the last part of this week, it's like about this, you know, this is brilliant. It's about this, first of all, you're gonna have this very kind of important news, which you're gonna absolutely love it, absolutely love, some kind of news, some kind of a message, and that news and message that you're going to have, on one hand, it's gonna mean to you so much, because it's just like, wow, you're gonna feel so good, because it's like bringing hope and inspiration into into your life. You know, this in itself, it's almost like kind of going to make you feel like kind of artistic, you know, at the same time. But on another note, so this is how the last part of this week is going to start with a really good message, which is just going to bring you so much hope and inspiration, and you're going to like it because it's happening at the right time in your life. But on another note, you're also going to have a very unusual sign and very unusual omen again at around the end of the week. And when you have this unusual sign and omen, this in itself, it's like really kind of somehow you're gonna realize that through that omen, through that sign, you're gonna realize that something is moving on, something that, you know, this is really going to surprise you. That's, you know, it's like something, it's like kind of having a progress here that you almost like forgot about. It became so stale. It's to do with the stale part of your life, especially when it comes to the last like about 3 or 4 years. I'm going back now, like, oh my God, you almost forgot about it. But this in itself is strongly connected to your spiritual journey, and it's strongly connected to your karma, and it's strongly connected to your destiny. So this is going to be keep on popping back, no matter like how long do you leave it, you know, in the background. It's going to be keep on coming back. It's going to be keep on popping back, and it's going to be happening in such a spontaneous way that is always going to like kind of throw you out of balance a little bit, but then again, it's only going to work in your favor. So this is brilliant because this is connected to your destination, to your destiny, my gorgeous Libra. So of course that this is going to be important. So now why this is going to mean to you so much, the fact that something is moving on. It's progress with something that you kind of did not have a progress in absolute ages. And you know why this is going to be, oh God, I'm going too passionate again. But you know why, God, do you know why this is going to mean to you so much? Because you will realize, oh my God, this is fantastic. There is so much more to it. It's not only about progress with something that you didn't have a progress in absolute ages. No, baby, no. But it's to do with now you being able to kind of do something or kind of launch some kind of a project or start something. You're going to be able to start something that you found so difficult so far. Okay, so this is where this is going to. It's not about just like, you know, progress with something that you forgot about. No, baby, no. The reason why you're going to feel so excited is now you will know that you will be able to start something that you had so many difficulties with for such a long time. You are going to feel so happy. This is going to rejuvenate you. This is going to regenerate you, my gorgeous Libra. This is going to have such an important impact on your life. It's like kind of going to be the moment of enlightenment. After this moment in time, you're going to see things in a completely different light, especially those things that have been slowing you down and those things that have been scaring you from making the necessary steps in your life. If you were worrying about a failure, or if you were worrying about if things will go wrong, you know, sometimes we do need to take a risk. Sometimes this is what we need to do, okay? And even if it goes the wrong way, as long as we are following our intuition, as long as we are listening to our spirit, if things do go wrong, then the things are meant to go wrong, because maybe we need to learn more about something, maybe we need to explore something more deeply, you see. So there is always like a hidden reason why certain things happen the way they happen. So this in itself, the fact that you're going to be able to start something that you wanted to, that you couldn't kind of start in such a long time, my gorgeous Libra, I can see that you're going to be very, very happy. You're going to be very excited, almost as if you will kind of phone your friends or people in your life and you will want to meet with them and you will want to have a little party with them. This is how happy you're going to be. This is going to be amazing, because this in itself, it was so important when it comes to you reaching this conclusion as well. After this moment in time, this is incredible. incredible, my gorgeous Libra, how happy you're actually going to be. And at the same time, you know, like you are gonna feel like determined like never ever ever before. Most certainly, and most importantly, when it comes to this week, by the time this week comes to an end, you are going to have so much back on track. Your life is going to be back on track. There is so much that you're going to start to look forward to, especially when it comes to your future. For the first time in your life, my gorgeous Libra, you're going to realize how much can change in just one little week. How many things can happen in just one little week. We don't even realize this, my goodness, until that particular week comes to an end. And this is exactly what is going to happen to you here. Absolutely mind-blowing, very important. And I can tell you that after this week, there is so much that is going to start changing in terms of this specific mind-blowing direction. Just remember, it's to do with this important direction that I've mentioned at the beginning of this week. This in itself is going to really turn to be probably the most, this in itself is going to in turn to be like probably the biggest impact that anything ever had on your entire life. Okay, my gorgeous Libra, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.